Hello everyone and welcome back to From Our Basement Gaming.
Hey everyone.
We are back with part 15 of our Dragon Quest Let's Play.
Yep. And I need 379 points to get to the next level. Maybe I'll get there in today's episode.
Maybe. That would be hopeful.
Alright.
Sorry, I said 14, I meant 15.
I thought you said 15.
I did say 15, okay.
But yeah, we're on the 15th show.
Well, whether I was hallucinating that I said the wrong thing or not, we are on part 15.
That's right. Just getting the map up so I know where to go. Just give me to me straight, Doctor. Okay. Not sure if we should talk about our adventure today, but...
I suppose we could.
Yep.
Yeah, so... As you guys know, we are recording a month ahead of time.
That we are. Almost 2 months, really.
Yeah. But this is still early in September, because we've been kind of laxing on Dragon Quest. Yes.
About Dragon Quest after our last debacle.
Yeah, so we actually recorded a lot of other stuff earlier.
Yep.
So yes, we are officially in August at the time of this recording.
Yep.
And we went to see Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yes.
What I kept calling Deadpool 3 because it is Deadpool 3, even though they didn't put the number 3 in there at all. And yeah, overall, a pretty good movie. Definitely recommend.
Yeah.
I was nervous. I'm like, either this will be making fun of the multiverse and be really funny, or it'll be like strictly enforcing it and I will not enjoy it. But thankfully it was making fun of the multiverse. I could still enjoy the movie even though I did not understand all of the references they made. It was still a funny movie. I could still enjoy it even if I didn't get all of the references. And I'm sure there's already like 100 videos that cover all of the references and Easter eggs in Deadpool and Wolverine, so I'm sure I would have no problem finding one of those videos and then be like, oh, okay, that's what it was. Which I probably will do that at some point, because why not? But anyway, not knowing that stuff did not ruin my enjoyment, of the movie. Because I like Deadpool. He's a good satire on comic tropes and whatnot. As I'm mostly just familiar with the movies, but believe me, I do want to read the comics at some point, so... Because what little I've heard about the comics sounds promising, so... But getting into comic books when you weren't there initially is difficult. I have to look up a guide. I did find one guide about what order to read stuff in, or where to start, really. But the guide itself was a bit confusing, so I will have to really study it more closely and then make a decision from that point. It might take me a while because I already have the Teen Titans Omnibus on my list. And those aren't cheap. There are like at least 3 or 4 of them, and they're like around $50. So I don't know if the Deadpool Omnibus is that expensive or more. It'll probably take me a while to get those as well. But hopefully I'll do it at some point. But, yeah. And Connor's a little more familiar with X-Men than I am, so he probably understood more of the references than me.
A few of them, yeah.
Yeah, I know you said you never saw the live-action movies, so...
Yeah, surprisingly I haven't. I know people who talk about the live-action movies, but,
Yeah, I watched, Nostalgia Critic talk about all of them. But that's the only familiarity I have with the X-Men movies. I haven't actually seen them. But, yeah, I am somebody, I've probably said it before, and don't get offended with this, fans out there, but I am not a big fan of Wolverine. Never really had been. Now, my exposure to him was from the 90s comics, 90s cartoons, excuse me, not the comics, no, I've never read the comics, and I just thought he was a broody jerk, and not broody in a good way. He was just not very friendly to his teammates, and then, at the age I was, I could not appreciate the nuances of his suffering. I was just like, man, he's a jerk and he's mean and he acts like he has it worse than everybody else even though he doesn't. That was like my feeling when I was a kid. So, yeah, but in the movie, I actually really liked this Wolverine.
So did I.
He was balanced well and redeemed himself, and yeah, it was pretty fun. And it had been a while since either of us had been to the movies, and it was nice to see a movie that we enjoyed more than the movie we had previously seen in theaters. So
yes,
yeah,
it's so
yes. So that might give you a little more of an idea as to why we were obsessively talking about it on our channel. That was the last movie we saw in the cinemas, was the Mario movie, so. And like the first month it came out too, so. We were not colored by the opinions of others.
No, we weren't.
Clearly because it was a resounding, oh my god, this is the best movie ever, with the Super Mario movie, it felt like. There were a few outliers, but they weren't very vocal, and the people who didn't like it weren't like, oh, this is the worst crap ever. They were just like, yeah, it had some problems. So I feel like they were, the people that disliked it were, who actually talked about it, were more neutral, with the least neutral being the one guy that said it felt like a formula. Like he said, it was a few steps away from an AI writing it, which, now I wouldn't have gone that far. I just think it's Illumination lazy writing, but
yeah, that is tough.
Now, I would say that about Disney's Wish, based on what I've heard. I have not personally watched it, and I see that, obviously humans wrote it. I'm just saying, the movie I would accuse of being only a step or two away from AI writing it would be Disney's Wish, from what I've heard anyway. And from sources I trust, mind you. But Deadpool and Wolverine was very good. And very obviously written by a bunch of humans.
Yes, it was. Keep writing them, humans.
Yes, please. We humans need to keep being creative. We cannot lose this war.
No, we can't.
And if we become aware, and this part is very important, guys. If we become aware that something we are digesting, media-wise, is created by AI, we need to boycott it. Because I think if it's similar to politics, alright? If we're too neutral about it, it will take over.
Mm-hmm.
Because corporations care about money. And if we, and I know it's hard at times, so that's why I'm saying if we become aware that something we are watching or listening to or reading, if we become aware that an AI is doing it or is heavily involved, we should boycott it, because I feel like if people who are using AI in the creative sectors don't get praise or money from it, they'll stop doing it.
Yes.
Because their thought process right now is, yeah, sure, it's making mistakes right now, but the more you use it, the less mistakes it'll make. That's their thought process. So they're going to keep pushing it unless we push back against it. And yeah, I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but this is very important to me.
It is important.
As a highly creative person, now, granted, I'm not making any money yet as a creative person, but it is very important to me. And if we just are numb to it and we're like, you know, either, yeah, I'll buy something created by AI, or at worst, oh, I'm gonna have fun and be all memey and generate pictures with this AI program. Please don't do that. I mean, yeah, it was funny when it first came out, but we need to stop now.
And the picture disappears. Death should not have taken thee, Axel. I will give thee another chance to reach thy next level. Your experience must be 125. Now go, Axel.
So I'm sorry that we are still struggling with this.
I'm guessing we're gonna have to work harder. Well, I'm gonna have to work harder.
Yeah, more leveling up before
Yes.
the next part. Yes, I know.
Okay, we're back.
But it was fun to go to the movie theater again, and the movie was good. It costs way too much money to go to the movie theater now.
Yes, we laughed, we cried, we kissed. 30 bucks goodbye? I don't remember.
Well, 30 for the snacks and drinks.
Okay, so that...
And it was 30 for the tickets that we bought ahead of time.
So we laughed,
60.
we laughed, we cried, we kissed $60 odd goodbye.
Yeah, $60 plus for the both of us to go to the movie. And I know you guys are probably like, well, you don't have to buy a drink or popcorn.
Yeah, you're right. We could have smuggled and
And
been
it's-
naughty little kitties, but
Yeah, but we're too good for that. And also,
I haven't had movie popcorn in since, I want to say, the 20-teens.
well, you didn't have any when we saw Mario.
Oh, right, yeah, I haven't had it since last year.
Yeah. And yeah, oh my god, now they have so many food options available that you could just straight up have lunch while you're watching
Yes.
the movie, but...
When did the movies become a restaurant?
Well, they also made the chairs very comfortable.
Yes.
I'm
so-
like, I really wish airplanes would make their seats that comfortable.
Yeah, they should. They ought to.
No, because they want to fit as many people packed up on the plane as humanly possible.
Of course they do.
And I think somebody was saying they had been gradually taking inches off of the seats.
They have.
And it's a real problem, because our country especially has an obesity problem.
Yep.
And I've heard from YouTube, because I do watch somebody on YouTube who's a flight attendant, that if you weigh too much to fit in the seats, first of all, and second of all, if you were too overweight for them to securely buckle in your buckle, they can ask you to leave and won't let you fly on the plane, which is ridiculous. It's like you're the ones who have been making the seats smaller.
Borderline. That's prejudicial, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's prejudicial, which is a big problem. And yeah, the seats are smaller, they're uncomfortable. I was really disappointed in Air France. I had been expecting better of them, but they were the least comfortable of the seats. KLM wasn't much better.
No, they weren't.
And I'm sorry to name drop the airlines, but it was bad.
Yeah, Air France.
I'm like... yeah. I mean, you'll have to cut me some slack. My very first international flight was to Japan on ANA, All Nippon Airways. Their other airline, JAL, which more of you probably know, is fine too.
Yep.
They're good too. But that flight, granted, this was back in 2012. I don't know if they've been doing the same cost-cutting measures.
It better not be.
I'll be sad. But their seats were very spacious and comfortable, and before you ask, I was in economy. I was not in expensive first class or business class. Because there's no way I could have afforded that. A regular ticket to Japan is already over $1,000, so yeah. And I lucked out because I happened to be going at a time where most people were not traveling to Japan. So I had a row to myself, so I could actually lay down. And now I know that part is like literally finding a diamond. It's not going to happen again.
Mm-hmm.
But the seats were still comfortable.
The diamond in the rough.
Yeah. Yeah, because I can't sleep on the plane. And the only reason... well, I did manage to sleep a little bit on that flight because I could actually lay down. I don't know how the people who sleep on the plane do it. Honestly. My mom is one of them. Just goes right off to sleep. Because I cannot. I try. But the problem is I start to get tired and my body wants to fall forward. I do everything I can to try to make it fall back, where the seat is. But my body wants to fall forward. And then, of course, as you know, when you have the sensation that you're falling forward, it jerks you awake because your body's trying to protect you.
Mm-hmm.
Because falling is bad.
Yes, it is.
So, because of that constant struggle, and the noise of the airplane, and the crying baby that's always inevitably on the plane, and don't tell me, oh, well, they cry when you take off because it hurts their ears. This is not when we're taking off. This is at 2 a.m. on the freaking plane. And the baby always cries. So yeah, with all of that going on, and the fact that it wakes me up when I fall forward, like most human beings, yeah, I can't sleep on the plane. I'm sure the first class and business people sleep like babies.
Must be nice.
And not like the baby that was crying at 2 a.m. I know. I know you said you can't really sleep on planes either. Let us know in the comments. Can you sleep on planes?
Oh yeah, please tell us.
We're having a very interesting conversation.
Yeah. No, I can't. I've tried, and it's not the sensation that... Unfortunately, it's not the sensation of falling forward. It's a lack of comfort, and I guess I'm so stressed to make sure everything goes well, or whatever it is that drives me, but I just don't have it in me to fall asleep on a plane.
Yeah, and it was really bad on the Air France one because they had the heat jacked up way too high.
Yeah.
There was no need to use the blanket that they give you because it was roasting.
Yeah, my clothes were a mess after that flight.
Yeah.
I felt like garbage
Yeah.
getting off that airplane.
And I knew that we had a connecting flight, so I had tea instead of water. So
in a way, the frigid air of France felt good
right.
on my body.
Yeah, because it was so hot on the plane. This is probably why I got... I'm surprised my body was able to make it till January without getting sick, but that's probably part of why I got so sick in January. Dealing with all that crap.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm grateful. I wouldn't have wanted to be sick the minute we set foot in Italy.
Indeed.
But,
speaking of which, it got a lot warmer when we were in Italy.
Oh yeah, 60-degree weather.
Yeah.
In December.
It was comfortable, really.
Yeah. It was very nice. Not like France. France is...
It was frigid, though.
Frigid, yes.
Yeah.
Where you touch the railing and it's like freezing. And you're like,
Yes.
Because, Air France let us off outside, not in an enclosed environment.
Yes. I was hot. I was miserable.
We both looked like zombies.
Yeah.
We were both dehydrated.
Yay!
Yay!
We're now level 14, I think.
I had to drag my body to the next flight. Then we probably both got maybe 10 minutes of sleep on the flight to Naples. And then once we actually got into the hotel, I was worried I was going to have an emergency because my heart was racing and I felt very crappy. I was laying down on the bed and didn't think I could get up.
Oh no.
But thankfully I was okay. I just waited it out. We bought some water, so I drank some of the water slowly. And I think getting the water in me helped offset the dehydration. But yeah, you and I both looked like zombies.
Yeah. I felt a lot better after finally getting some sleep in Italy.
Yeah.
And getting a shower.
Sadly, I did not get a lot of sleep. I got a little bit.
I apologize.
No, it's not your fault. I have very sensitive ears, so dealing with any kind of snoring is difficult for me. It's okay. You're not the only person I've traveled with who.
I see.
That's my issue. To the point where I'm one day would like to have a travel person who doesn't snore, but I don't think that's possible. It is probably not possible, but that's okay.
Just getting some treasure before I try
Right.
that spot again. But I'm not gonna let myself get killed again. You're hot, bud?
Yeah, it's hot in here.
Mm.
And my allergies are still bothering me. I think it's a mixture of actual pollen, crappy weather, and the dust. Because that guy finally came and mowed our lawn, but all the grass in the air was bothering my allergies. So.
Yeah.
Sorry, just drinking some water to stay cool.
That's alright.
When we're done recording, we'll probably turn that AC on. But sadly, it makes too much noise for us to use it while we record.
Yeah, I didn't think you guys wanted to hear our
No, I don't think they want to hear a constant loud machine whirring. I know people probably already have issue with the quality of our recording. We don't need to make it worse.
Right. That's true.
Because we don't have the pristine
Cinematic
studios treated sound.
to look high definition and antiquated at the same time, but
Because there would be no way that my mom would let me soundproof the basement.
right.
So, we're dealing with what we've got here.
Yep.
If I had my own place, I'd do it, but I am not financially able to have my own place.
I mean, hey, if I ever win that lottery, I guess if there's still any office space that's unused.
Right, there was some office space somewhere. We'd have to rent it, maybe get permission to put up soundproofing. I mean, I'm sure there could be temporary soundproofing that you could easily take down without causing too much work. Which,
right.
Yeah, if you get the kind that you put together with adhesive, you could do that easily.
Yeah, I think that's doable.
Yeah, believe me, sometimes I wish I was rich so I could just rent a home studio for my voice acting as well, rather than using mine, which is good but not perfect yet. I think I'm going to update the kinds of panels I have up, and that would hopefully make it a little bit better. But yeah, I can only work with what I have at the moment,
Right.
because I don't make lots of money. Maybe one day I will, but if you guys haven't noticed, at least here in the US, the job market's been pretty crappy. So,
Right, we've got plenty of jobs, but I'm worried about how they're using them.
if we've got plenty of jobs, they're not hiring.
Correct.
Because they want everybody to have 5 years of experience already.
Jeez.
I mean, not all of them are like that. Some of them are 1 or 2 years, but you get my point. It's like, unless you're working at retail or fast food, it's really hard to get in. Even the entry-level jobs. Because I might have alluded to it before, but I'm not 100% able-bodied. So that's been a barrier for me. We're almost done, but I'll say this quickly. Being, not able-bodied enough to work to the degree they want me to, but also not being disabled enough for the government to provide enough assistance. to either get me a job I could do easily, or...
I defeated him.
Yay! Or, give me compensation until I'm able to get a job that I can actually work in comfortably. So yeah, that struggle makes it even more difficult for me. I'm not super experienced and I'm not super able-bodied either. So yeah, that adds extra layer of difficulty, but I have some people I know online who don't have disabilities that are struggling to get into work as well. But anyway, we will probably end here. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and hopefully we'll get to the point where we're making more progress.
Yes, I feel like we're getting there, but not yet.
So, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Take care.